Take a sip, chat.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are officially back at it for episode 79 of Dot Connect Wednesdays. This episode is going to be called Crypto Takes Center Stage. Before we truly get started and dive in, I'm Chan Bobbitt, Steve Bayonne, and you guys see pinned, we have Sharika. She is on pin for everybody, so you guys can see her. She is a wonderful member of the Academy. She's like family. They're about to have an exchange. So before we get into the crypto talk, I'll let them rock out.
Going on? What's going on? Listen, so I sent Sharika a message the other day on Telegram and she didn't respond to me, so I'm just calling her up. But not for that. She said I summons her at this point, so I know she has a message for us. But I'm gonna circle back with what I sent her because I'm gonna drop it on you guys today. It's a particular project, and you don't mind me sharing images that you gave me, right?
Go, yeah, no, roll it out, roll it out.
All right. So what do you have? What message do you have today?
Wow, what message do I have today? For
Mhm.
me, it's always interesting being in different bull market seasons. Like for the past week or so, I've just had a battery in my back, just being in the market and just trying to share what I can. And actually, a message that I do have on my heart tonight is use these assets. Don't let the assets use you. Don't fall in love with them. We can definitely see value in certain things, but what I find really telling about the crypto market now is we see XRP rising to the forefront, and that's starting to become a threat to Bitcoin. That's starting to become a threat to ETH. And you're seeing the people that are tribal to those assets, all of a sudden, there's no collectivity in crypto. It's becoming competitive. They're trying to stifle XRP, or they're trying to like basically like call the authorities and say, oh, it's not a proper asset. Like I thought this was crypto. I thought this was supposed to be a whole libertarian movement. So, just recognize the assets. Don't get caught up in, tribalism because it's just a distraction. Like you're really seeing the worst out of people emotionally. Like for me, when I see certain assets go up, I'm happy because I know there's people that are invested in those coins and their lives are changed. So obviously we want to win as individuals, but there's an opportunity here for lots of us as a whole to really change our lives. So, don't be jealous. Just our time will come, with whatever you're invested in. You're in the right space, you're in the right place. So, uh, just want to send that forward. And as well, I sent something in the academy about the fear and the greed index. And money is currency, right? And currency flow, all of that is tied to our emotions. It really is tied to our emotions. So everybody's just got to take care of themselves. Don't let this stuff eat you alive. If you are checking your portfolio like 200 times a day, like just step back and make sure you gather yourself. Like don't let the AI run this. So that would be my message for now.
Appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate that.
Appreciate that. All right, listen, stay unmuted though, because you sent me some pictures the other day, and it's gonna tie into a story. All right. But before I get started, there's a mantra that I like to if you know, you know already. So if you don't know, you'll know.
If you change your thoughts, you change your life. If you change your thoughts, you change your life. And the thing that's so wild is whoever controls your mind controls your time. Whoever controls your mind controls your time. Whoever controls your mind controls your time. Whoever controls your time controls your mind. Control your whole life.
Every day on repeat. And I feel like I'm a control freak. But that just does something to me every time I hear it. We just have to start simplifying thought process, right? Slow it down. I've been watching people rushing and rushing and rushing to finish this, rushing to finish that. Understand this, guys. You are right where you're supposed to be. Think about it. We're not talking about no more than 10% of the world population that even knows what's going on right now. Slow it down. Trust me when I tell you this. We've been at it for 10 years. There's people that was really at it from day one.
Mhm.
And they're loony. So this is not a bad position to be in at all. because you would have had to have some resolve to start a decade ago. Strong belief. No cosigns, no academy, no data, no nothing. It was just a bunch of nerdy white boys just geeking out. Slow it down. We did all the work already. Trust me, we did all the work already. Just look how hard it is for people to just even realize what's going on out here right now. If you take anything from this conversation tonight, it is just that. And when I say these words, I'm not speaking at y'all. I'm actually this message for myself. I be tripping. Champ will tell you he got to keep up with this road runner. So
Vice versa.
anytime I say something, don't be dumb. Like all of it is a reflection of just who I am and me just speaking to myself. So don't take shit personal. Slow it down. Trust me. I'm learning gratitude now. Not that I didn't know it. I'm just so fast with the way I move. I never get a chance to just sit back and just be grateful about things. So if you don't know my wife, she's the one that holds up the mirror to me, and her name is Mirror. Ironically, she's on me all the time, and I'm not talking about in a bad way. Just like it's a message every day in a bottle. Be grateful. Give grace. Ask for grace. Like that's been on me. And then on top of that, today she's like, we tend to talk to the universe, but we never ask the universe for grace. And then she gives me another tidbit, and she's like, Oprah said that she always asks for strength, and realized that it just puts so much more on her. So now understanding how powerful words are. Listen, I could run circles around a lot of people in a lot of realms, but the path I'm going on now, shit, finally feeling at peace. I told her that, I'm like, I'm finally seeing the light at the end of this tunnel. This shit was like a never ending ride.
Mhm.
And now we get to pick and choose who we talk to or who we decide to give time to. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I will not fuck this up for the Academy. Trust me. Them stages is about to open up. I will not drop the ball on the Academy. And if it wasn't for you guys, I'm telling you, I damn near left this shit a few times. Like I was out. I was mentally checked out and stayed the course. But what you about to witness this year for the Academy, and just myself personally, right? This is more of a personal growth, right? This is coming from like, if you don't know me, I've been a serial entrepreneur my whole life, like ever since I was a kid, right? This journey's been like 3 decades of nonstop businesses, right? So if anybody knows the life of an entrepreneur, it's the loneliest position, the loneliest, right? So I didn't build these Fortune 500 companies with employees and things like that. It was always started with an idea that I created, and then I start to execute it, and then I'll bring a few people in the fold. So for damn near 3 decades, right? It's been about every day figuring out what to do for the day. There's no blueprint at all. There's not a venture I've had where I knew what I was supposed to do tomorrow. Right or wrong, champ?
Facts. 100%.
Every day I have to make a decision that determines whether or not this thing moves forward or not. Every day. And I'm not talking about once a day, multiple times a day. So when I say I'm stepping away, it's not that I'm leaving, it's just that I'm growing, right? The same way the academy's growing. And if I don't stay ahead, then I'm behind with y'all. And that's not good for anybody. Right? So the academy never stifled my growth because I kind of looked at it like that sometimes. And that's the ungrateful part of it. That's what I talked about. That's the ungrateful part. That's ungrateful. What it did was it tested my I'm not gonna say my final, but this is the last of me pushing people towards something. Because I know what I could attract at this point now. So I'm gonna just release a lot less energy in my approach. Not on the next few podcasts that are coming up. I'm grabbing those by the neck. But after that, I'm chilling. Right? Just for my own peace. So next week, my wife and I embark on a journey to South America. This is it. Right? When I say this is it, meaning I'm carrying one thing with me and it's a bunch of seeds. Right? So everywhere I go, I'm just gonna lay a seed somewhere. I'm gonna lay a seed somewhere. I'm gonna lay a seed somewhere. And that's it. I had a friend, if he's on here, Kellen. Kellen was telling me about a family farm that they had. He was just telling me about land in DR and how, food is growing of abundance, fruits and vegetables, and no one tends to it. Right. So then you start asking yourself, like, damn, nature is wild. Because I have a little garden. It's like, yo, the more I touch it, the more problems I give it. Right. The second year when I started the farm out here, the least amount of going back to what Sharika said, maybe drowning it too much, right? Looking at the portfolio too much, not trusting the process enough. I paid that thing no mind, and next thing you know, things are just sprouting, right? This is the second year of farming. So part of what we're looking to do in this next, um, I'd say this next chapter is, my wife has this thing with opening a holistic center, right? She's always had this idea in her mind. So we both love arboretums. If you've ever been to them, just any one of them is like, if you follow my page, there's a few pictures I have. We just go on arboretum runs, and she's always snapping pictures. Um, so there's this infinity I have now with like nature. You know what I'm saying? I realized the other day I got sick 2 times in 30 days, and I rarely get sick one time a year. I'm not out in the sun. I'm not um doing my grounding, right? I'm just not. Shit gets dark at like 2 o'clock. This is driving me nuts now. We got to just leave the clock alone. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go down that rabbit hole yet, but I know for certain that thing is put here to like just fuck with us.
Throw you off, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, leave the clocks alone. But anyway, this particular situation that we're embarking on right now, we have got rid of our portfolio here in the States, real estate. I'm no longer interested in doing business in America anymore. I'm good. Outside of like feeding this internet situation and then having some live shows this year, guys, we are going to come live, like multi-city. So we'll cover something that's close to where you live. All right. Um, it's just time for me to slow it down. You know what I mean? I could feel it. I could feel it in my body. I could feel it in just health wise, just in the last couple months. And it's always tied to how much I'm pushing. Right. So my body used to give me signs. It was sciatica about a year ago, doing too much for people, start understanding like, the body just doesn't trip out like that, especially the type of shape that I'm in. Not that I'm in a gym and stuff like that, but I don't manifest. I manifested that. It wasn't my body. All right. So when I say slow it down, I'm talking to myself on top of it. All right. When I say don't be dumb, I'm not pointing out any single one of y'all. Me first. Because now I have to be mindful of what I do and what I say. And if I don't slow it down, it could, I have to move a little bit more strategically. Let's put it that way. All right. So my wife been telling me this shit, man. I just wasn't ready to hear it. So let me share this with you guys. Let me take this off. In my office right here, and I don't know if you've seen it before. If I could tell you that every time I get on Zoom, it's like the first time I got on Zoom. How you turn this background off?
Go to your settings, Zoom workplace settings.
Oh, okay, up at the top. Got it.
Mhm.
Got it. Don't be dumb. All right. So here we go. And this is part of the new work I'm putting in right now. Don't mind the mess. But that guy right there, that's the young Steve, right? Guess who puts this picture up right here? My wife. So every day I'm interacting with the computer or the internet or whatever, and I have this camera on, I can see my younger self in behind me. Right. So now I'm doing the work with a family friend. She's I don't even know the title at this point now. Like there's no more therapist. It's just like real as shit. So our last session we talked about reflection, right? And my work for this week was to one, name the younger Steve and then start having a relationship with him. Because what it's going to do is it's going to take me back in time, right? Because I don't reflect a lot. All right. When you grow up with circumstances and things happen, you just tend to, I'm the type of person that would block out like a huge chapter in my life. And it seems like I did it since childhood. Growing up, single father, first generation Haitian American. So you know how strict that household was. No mom in the house. That's a different paradigm. So now there's things coming up today from the cause and effect of yesterday that I got to fix. So the journey of well, one of the reasons of stepping back is because of that, right? Because it's only going to make me better. I still have, and we all kind of working through traumas, but the generational stuff, I got to be done with that. You know what I mean? We have the words, we have the tools. Now it's a matter of today on the call. I said being broke is an act of selfishness, right? Because you're just choosing to do what you want to do, right? And then my wife was killing me the last couple of weeks. Like those are choices. I'm like, shit. What yeah, I'm telling you, the stuff we were talking about, it was difficult for me, but she was simplifying that shit down to a choice. One word.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man. I had to sit with that. A choice. So when I'm out here zapping people about choices that they make, I'm like, okay, I'm going through the same shit. This is where the grace comes into place, right? The healing starts back then. It's all childhood wounds, right? The way you see the world, the 10,000 hours of the conditioning that you don't know. I ain't sign up for that. And then you don't realize it until you get to that point when you start to realize it, right? So I'm not playing victim. I'm not, I've always been kind of accountability, but I could have a victim mentality at times when I'm not dealing with that stuff because it was a choice for me not to look back. So that's part of the story. I ain't gonna go no deeper. Now let's get to the task at hand. So Sharika sends me this image from a plane, and I'm gonna show the images, but you just give me the backstory of were you on this plane? Did you take this picture? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so I actually, yes, I live in Canada currently. I visiting my husband in the States, so I was flying from Chicago actually. And I love, like, when you talk about that groundedness, for me, I love to ground too. I mean, it's minus, no, it's probably like minus 20 right now. But for me, there's another kind of grounding, and it's when you're in the air for me. Like when I'm in a plane and I'm at that level where like I'm higher than the clouds and I'm that close to the sun, for me personally, that's like a, I don't know, celestial grounding. I don't know what you want to call it. But anyways, I just love to take that in. It's like all the answers, everything just gets so simple because everything on the ground gets so small, right? All our little problems, when you're up that high in the air, everything is just, it's just rendered just at a smaller level. So yeah, I just, I was looking at the sun and it just grabbed me in a way and I took the picture and then everything else just unfolded in real time. So I'll just let you take it from there. But that's the state and place that I was in when I took that.
How slow does that plane feel like it's going? For
No
as
time.
fast as we know it's going, how slow does it feel like it's going?
It's like the opposite. It's like there's no time, really.
What did you do here?
So yeah, so I added that and I was just looking at it and it something was just telling me just like focus on this, like focus on this. And I probably sent you another, yeah, I probably sent you another message. And then I'm like, oh snap, that looks like the Telcoin logo. And Steve mentioned earlier, I had a dream, or not a dream, I woke up from sleep and I saw that exact same blue logo like just right in front of my face. So I was like, oh man, this is like I gotta send this to Steve. So you can't even
You can't make this
my
up.
camera, you can't make it up. And my phone camera is I won't say it's the greatest, but like, if I had an iPhone or something super, super sharp, it wouldn't have come off like that. But it was just radiant. And I think that definitely explains the state and the place that we're all in. Like it's not an accident that any of us are here. Definitely not. And if I could even add, Steve, to what you were saying,
Mm,
there's levels of commitment to the path, whatever that path is that we have in life. And the
mm,
closer you begin to walk with it, the less room for error that you have. Meaning,
yeah.
if you begin to stray a little bit off what you're supposed to do right away, something's gonna come and let you know, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Like you can't freestyle and just do whatever you want at that point. And that's a beautiful sign that you're really tapping into something much bigger. Great power comes great responsibility.
Wow.
This is why I have to slow down now. You know what I'm saying? So I've shut the ego down like a long time ago. Ego's always going to be around. It's what protects us. But I mean that just immature ego. Like I've been stepped into this age of wisdom, right? They call me the old young guy. No one knows how old I really am. Like when they see me in person, it's like, damn, the grays are throwing me off, but then you look kind of young. So I'm embracing this right here, like fully. Papa Smurf. So I have to name this younger guy back here. So if anybody has any ideas of what his name should be, and my legal name is Steve. And here's the wild part about it. So as I'm talking to her, I unpacked it. So when they named me, that wasn't supposed to be my name. The doctor ended up naming me and didn't even write it correctly on the birth certificate. So now it was supposed to be initially, I think, Jordani, and then it turned to Steven, right? But then it was Steve was put on the birth certificate. So now I'm like, what the fuck is my name at this point now?
Mm.
Like, really, what? It wasn't what it was meant to be. So I think I could change it. Like, actually, I know I could change it. But I'm gonna take this guy right here. I'm gonna take all types of names for that one. Whatever y'all got. I'll go through the comments when Champ takes over. All right. So she sends this image. It's the sun on a plane. She starts to put her lines around it, and now she's on Telegram with me, and she connects the dots with Telcoin. I've been on this project, and Champ's been on this project forever, right? If you know crypto, it was like just one of those things that were like, God, this was the simplest thing to understand back then,
There you go.
right? So it was either you have it in your wallet or you had it in your wallet, like, and then you don't have it anymore because you just kind of we were just off it. So the same time that she sent that picture, Champ also had brought it up, and it also came up again because what you guys fail to realize is the CEO of this company is a banker,
Mhm.
right? So if you listen to any of his interviews, and this is what I'm telling you guys, this is not for investment advice. This is for you guys to do your research. So listen, put a 1 in the chat. Tell me how many people are in the academy, and put a 2 if you're not in the academy. Just to get a feel for the room. Oh, this is an academy only situation.
Right. It's like a members only call right now.
All right, cool. So I'm fine with that. It's like back to back. All right. So if you're in the academy, you know we just dropped a course on you of how to read crypto projects. I want this one to be the project that you guys utilize the tools to just check out the tokenomics in it. Watch a couple of his interviews, right? Check out the site, see the white paper. It is an easy product to understand. But I'm gonna set the table. Okay. So Telcoin is like a blockchain powered financial platform. All right. And this is wild because I'm like, I never knew the magnitude of this project back in the day,
Yep.
right or wrong. We just knew it made sense, but we just didn't because the banking system wasn't like, we didn't even know the banking system,
At all.
right?
Especially
But now that we know it, this is why he got a smile on his face because we caught some low entries on sale the other day. So it focuses on like remittance and digital banking. All right. So simple product. It's basically gonna kind of bridge the gap between traditional financing and like this digital world, right? Better than Coinbase. Okay, more honest than Coinbase. All right, so it's gonna just basically enable like fast, low fees, um, decentralized financial services, right? Put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the part where this is what drove me to cryptocurrency. This type of inclusion, right? Not just another product to take from people. Right? You open a bank account, if you're a dollar short, it's a $25, $30 fee. It's like you see the person, like we're struggling here. If it's like, come on, you know? So in this world, things just don't work like that. All right. So it just got approved and it had the application for a little bit in the state of Nebraska to become it was a digital asset bank approval. It's the first of its kind. Champ could give you the price on. Actually, you could get the price on it because you got the tools.
You got the tools. Absolutely.
All right. So it's basically positioned itself to be like a regulated crypto friendly bank, the first of its kind. It's going to have stable coins, remittances, uh, DeFi powered financial products, right? That's why I tell you, you don't have to sell cryptocurrency. You could always leverage it.
Leverage.
Don't be dumb. You don't lose or make money until you sell. Or you could borrow against it and you can make a move, pay it back, unlock your crypto, right? Do the right thing with that stuff. Um, and it integrates with mobile networks around the world. So I knew what it can do for Africa and emerging countries like Haiti, my country where my people are from. That's why I fell in love with that project. And now it got approval by the state of Nebraska as the first digital asset crypto bank. You may be looking at it incorrect. Oh, okay, that's you. I thought somebody was telling me that. I'm like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, nah, that's me responding.
Call
He
this
said,
person up.
he said, wait a minute.
Is that tall guy tycoon in here? Chris Johnson. Now I'm naming names.
Intentional. Slow
I'm
down.
naming names. Do
Straight up.
not listen to those guys. Actually, do what you want to do because you got backstory with crypto. So go ahead and listen to them. It's dangerous. All right. So she sends me this situation. The news is it's looming. Champ is, he brings it back up again. I was like, actually, Champ brought it up a week prior to her sending me that. So that was kind of like my second nudge. I already have it in the bag, but not like, whatever. And I knew that I have no water here.
Go ahead. I got you.
All right. So a couple things to think about with this coin, right? It's got regulatory approval. All right. It's conditionally approved. Just put it that way. All right. I'm sure there's some things that are need to be ironed out. All right. So that's probably one of the biggest milestones that's not talked about in cryptocurrency right now. This is why I tell you that they not like us. It just is what it is.
Facts.
So when you hyper focus Chris Johnson on Bitcoin, you miss a lot. Like I said, it's like thinking that Amazon's the only tech company. It's like, yeah, it's just, they're the biggest, but that doesn't mean they're the only tech company. There's no Apple, there's no Microsoft, there's no Meta. There's like nobody else in the room. This is what these Bitcoin guys are acting like right now. Innovation has now hit the banking system. All right. So it's basically digital cash now. This is the first time you're going to see it. That's why I say it's important to download the app for the project. Like just interact with this project, like on a personal level. All right. That's when you start to get a deeper understanding of cryptocurrency. I don't care how much shit we put in front of you to read. Like I'm interacting with the projects right now. My vehicle has a device. Champ's vehicle has a device. Our phones are linked to crypto device. Like we are actually testing the product. There's antennas back here behind me. I checked the EMF. Cool. So this cup that I have with water on it, and I drink from this cup a lot. And it's a thermos, and I never really looked at the message that's on here, but it says motivator, believer, innovator, educator. My wife has something to do with this shit too. So I got to get the backstory, but I think my daughter might have gave it to me for a present. That's the part of the slowing down. It should be going in one ear, and then I don't retain a whole lot of things. So I'm just starting to, I have to become more present. I will become more present. She lives in the now. I mean, she does it all, but I got to get to the now part because I tend to like, I'm like out here with the shit. So you're about to get a different side of things when I get back from this seed planting excursion. All right, so check it out. So we're back on Telcoin. EUSD stablecoin launch, right? EUSD. Champ, I don't think nobody's talking about this. I haven't heard it, and I follow all the crypto guys.
At all.
I think I follow. Well, the ones that really matter.
Yeah.
And not to say that, and listen, don't follow the people I follow, because sometimes I follow stuff for like the nonsense, like the wrong information. I have to stay in that world too. I got to know what people are telling people. So if you think I'm following somebody because I like their content, that's not always the case. It's just for information. All right. So this bank is set to launch, I think early this year, first releasing the EUSD. All right. It's the first bank issued stablecoin. How come nobody's talking about this?
Crazy. Crazy.
And that's just part of a broader like multi-currency bag of shit they about to have at that bank. They call it digital cash strategy. Every bank is going to follow this model. If banks don't follow this model, they're gonna sink. All right. So it came up under the Nebraska Financial Innovation Act. Listen, there's so many backdoors to this shit. You cannot make this up. You have the best administration for this. Don't worry about the other stuff, guys. I'm not saying they're the best administration. I'm just telling you that for what we're talking about right now, cryptocurrency, we better think of Donald Trump, like Kamala Harris would say. She's talking to people like we're part of a slave trade or something. Y'all better think a union. I'm like, what? Why does she talk like this when she talks to black people? Does anybody know?
She don't know.
Let's smarten up in the next election, guys. That thing was supposed to be like a wipeout. Listen, let me stay the course. So you got this Innovation Act. So what I want you guys to do to follow is look at every state and try to find their Financial Innovation Act, right? If everybody does that and you bring that back to the academy, it's going to make us a lot smarter. Just do it in your state or a state that you like, right? One state in the state that you like, and then bring it back to the academy. We'll do a post in there. I just want to see the comments in there. What that's going to do is it's going to show you the projects that are linked to the Innovation Act within that state. How many crypto projects, what financial innovation is happening in finances?
Whole damn system is changing.
But it has to involve cryptocurrency or blockchain technology, right or wrong.
Facts, 100%.
So what if we found every project that's registered for the Financial Innovation Act in a particular state? Do you think we could connect the dots and probably be on to something?
For sure.
Now I'm holding you accountable because I don't feel like doing it.
Homework.
That's
Pen
the
and
first, right. The days of hearing us just talk and not hold y'all accountable is over. Y'all got work to do now. So if we did it for, you can do it because they ain't gonna take you 10 years. That's the best part about this. So I'm gonna keep pointing y'all in a direction, but y'all got to do the work. That's just it. I talked to Champ about this. He's in agreement, and he ain't for the shit either. I would say that with love. Because when you find it on your own, it empowers you. Really, that's the true reason for it. You know what I'm saying? Like when we actually do get to this wealth, I want everyone to be able to research and not fall for everything you hear. Right. So this is all just a new social conditioning that we're doing here at the academy. Hypnotize y'all in a minute. These superpowers. Y'all gonna get this work today. All right. So this was the Nebraska Financial Innovation Act. And I'm not saying that every state has it. I'm just telling you, let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit and see, you know, you might learn something. I might learn something. Right. So Telcoin is headquarters in Singapore. All right. That's where he's at. And operates a licensed major payment institution. That's a good fact right there. You got to ask yourself, why are they in Singapore? All right. And then they have subsidiaries that are registered as virtual asset service providers in Lithuania. All right. And as money service business in the US, Canada, and Australia. This guy is smart. This guy is smart. You know why he's smart? Because he came up in the banking system, so he knows how it works globally. Let me run that back to you again. Headquartered in Singapore, all right, operates as a licensed major payment institution in Singapore. Its subsidiaries are registered as virtual asset service providers in Lithuania and as money service businesses in the US, Canada, and Australia. This guy just found the back doors for the entire play. So if anybody on here wanted to open a digital bank, did we not drop the blueprint?
Right here, live on the call.
How many black banks do you think are going to become a digital bank? Let's be honest. They don't even have Zelle right now. And they're locked out of financial inclusion. It's not that they can't get it. It's that most of them are owned by churches. It's like, what? I mean, nothing against that, but at some point you got to hire a proper CEO. It can't just be the pastor's wife with no financial background. Now, I'm being honest. This is like, this is what happens with black banks. This is why they never grow. Most, not all of them. There's a couple big ones, but again, big in comparison to what? So I feel like opening a digital bank right now. I don't know about y'all.
Straight up.
But if people want to, if we decentralize this thing and we want to roll some cryptocurrency into this as payment and you guys want to invest in it, just drop a fire emoji and I'll get this shit started. Because
Cue the fire.
so we got a bonfire or we got like a major fire?
We got a major fire going on.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start a digital bank.
Let's go.
Straight up. People own, people ran, and it only makes sense for a crypto group to start it. All right. This been a play on my mind for a minute. Part of leaving is so one of my meetings in Colombia is going to be with a gentleman who actually owns an exchange. Okay. And then me connecting that to saying, listen, I want to open an exchange, but I want to open it on sovereign land. And knowing that we got the connection points, champ, right or no? Yes or no?
Definitely.
The world is open for, we still on fire in there?
Still.
All right. I got y'all. Trust me. That's the type of shit that I want to do. I've been, since day one, I always knew outside of teaching, I just wanted to implement strategies and create businesses and verticals that's a product, not so much a educational product, like adding to an ecosystem. That's why I can't do this much longer. You know what I mean? So he gives the blueprint to how to navigate the system. That's it. Yeah, I get this? All right. Now, if you find a way to decentralize the bank, right, and you allow people to have voting rights, you allow people to be part of the ownership, wouldn't you want to do business with your own bank that you're invested in?
Definitely.
I started a project a while back, and I'm not good with years, so I'm not even going to attempt to try to tell you what year it was. So it was New York City. I'm sitting in Brooklyn. My wife is figuring out what to do after her schooling and all things, and I'm just figuring out what the hell to do, period. Right. And I came up with an idea called a black card. And I'm going to find the card because I know I have something somewhere here. And it was an image of like two hands kind of intertwined like that. So it was, the premise of it was go to New York City businesses that are black owned, create a card and create a broker an incentive discount for people that come in with the card. And then I would find a way offline to market the actual card. We still on fire in the chat.
We're still on fire right now.
So this is part of my reflection situations. I could tell y'all stories all day about shit that I've done. So we're in New York. I come up with the idea, amazing idea. I start to do little street fairs and just, just marketing, getting the word out. Got some businesses, got people. No problem. This is the days. It wasn't even like social media back then. This was like we were still using like Flash at the time for the internet. I also had a nightclub hotline in New York. This is the type of stuff I was doing at that age. I was out and about every night, just in the mix, but I wasn't partying. I was just watching human behavior. I was partying too.
Shaking the
But I was
spots.
but I was watching human behavior. I was sharp. I ain't just out there just being dumb, but I was being dumb. So as I'm in the city, I'm finding needs, right? We didn't have the internet. Like there was no internet on the phone and things like that, really. So when I create the nightclub hotline, it's a phone number that you call up and press 1 for this, press 2 for hip hop, press 3 for Latin. And then I was just brokering deals with promoters. And I want to say my wife was the one recording the craziness. So that was one of the ventures. And then came the black card. So as we sitting there, who comes up to us? WBLS. I'm not saying they came up to us at the show. They made call for us. Listen, we love what you guys are doing. We want you to come to the station. WBLS is the largest black-owned radio station.
Yeah.
In New York and even nationally, right?
Yeah, national
At that time. So we sit there in the meeting with them, and it's like, oh, I brought my friends with me. I'm like, yo, we got this meeting. Let's go. Even if they weren't part of it, I just knew at some point they were going to be part of it. So we're sitting there. I'm looking at the offices. There's some empty offices. I'm making jokes like, yeah, I sit right in there. And then, they having pleasantries with us, older black individuals at the station, not a white person in sight. All right. So we leave on a good note. My point person at WBLS is, hits me after. He's like, yo, everything went good. Yada, yada, yada. They're going to reconvene in the office and then figure out what the next steps are. I don't hear shit from them. The next thing that I hear on the radio is them advertising the exact same business model, different name. They took the idea. I'm like, all right, cool. So to this day, and if Nick Storm ever watches any of my stuff, Nick knows, right? Nick is one of the greatest marketing geniuses when it comes to spirits. So liquor. Nick was the guy that launched Hypnotic and introduced that to the world, right? Nick is the guy that brokered the Diddy Ciroc deal. Nick's just that guy. All right. So this is part of the reflecting part. And then we got the other guy, which is John Vasquez. John Vasquez used to be the general manager of Justin's in New York. And he was one of the guys that gave me my first opportunity with anything I wanted, I had because of that guy. And if John is watching this, and I'm going to bring them on. At some point, I'm going to get these brothers on because they're sharp. So John is also in the marketing of the Spirit game. He had a cupcake wine. I don't know if you guys remember that that brand. He used to have flavored cupcake, flavored wine.
Fine.
It was called Cupcake Wine, right? So he was big in that project. A lot of things with these guys, a lot of great connections. But they gave me opportunity. So the Nick Storm part is anytime Nick sees me, it doesn't matter where we're at. Oh, by Black. I don't even think Nick knows my first name. So he calls me by Black. He remembers that. I'm talking about decades later. I'm off that. That was a good time. So they take the deal, they take the idea, and I'm over it at that point now. Clearly upset, and I probably did the most and don't remember. But it was over before it started. I don't think the promotion even lasted 2 weeks on the radio. I had more traction doing it myself than the biggest radio station in New York City with the most amount, the crowd was with them. Like that's where you go as a retailer, that's where you go to advertise as a restaurant. That's what it was. That's where the ad money came from. They ain't have the sauce. That's why I don't care to do NDAs nowadays. I don't, whatever. Be like, yeah, they're gonna take your idea. I don't care about that. That shit ain't gonna define me. And it won't be as good as what I could put out if I decide to even go forward with it. So I've been doing these small little ventures for the last couple years, multiple decades, and each of them have given me a certain type of resolve because they all ended. Everything had one thing in common. I started it and it ended. I have none of them. I mean, outside of the academy here. But what I did gain from it was a wealth of information and knowledge. So when I'm creating new verticals or I'm presenting to different rooms, I'm like, damn. I had to step back, like, yo, now my shit is nice. Just really step back and just kind of look at the quality of the work that I'm able to put out at the speed and the accuracy of it. I've missed that the whole time I'm doing all this shit. I just be missing how one, fun it is, and two, how dope I am. Right? I hear it from y'all sometimes, and I don't. My sun is in Leo, and I'm a Capricorn. But I don't care to be I'm not all my shit ain't in Leo, so it's not like, yo, hear me raw type stuff. So I play down a little bit in a sense of that's just not my style. I don't care who goes first. I don't care who has the most or whatever. I've always had that personality. But it misses me that I do have leadership skills because it's kind of like I'm lowering the volume on all the speakers. So now I'm just figuring out how to reconfigure the different speakers. I don't have to say I'm a leader. I'm just saying like I'm starting to realize how effective it is. And it's been, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. I've find a way to make people just like believe in themselves. It's just wild. I never saw it as a superpower before. Just figured that's just what I do. And I used to be hard on people like, man, what you mean you can't see it? What you mean you can't do that? Or so I had to figure that part out. Right? Giving grace. I didn't understand that everybody didn't have this because it comes so easy to me. So because it comes so easy to me, I don't tend to look back on it and think that it's a big deal. But 179 people in this room, I remember when it was like nobody in this. The actual call started in Detroit with 4 or 5 of my closest friends. That's how this whole thing was birthed. I was in Detroit for real estate. Something came to me and said, yo, why don't you start a cryptocurrency group? Like literally. was traveling with a couple of my young boy investors who were, rocking with me out there. And we just started talking crypto, and I got a couple more guys on the phone. And next thing you know, that was the culmination of what started this academy. If Jeremy, if you on here, you know what I'm talking about. Kellen, if you on here, you know what I'm talking about. Keith, if you on here, Luke, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
That's how it starts. But y'all gotta understand, in the 10 years, I wasn't doing 10 years of like deep dive research on this shit because there was no money to be made in here. So I had other ventures that was taking up a majority of my time. I was still tapping into the um the world, just not in the way that we've been doing it in the last 3 years. So to see a buck 70, whatever, um, that's major.
Super.
That's the part that kind of misses me a little bit because I felt like this was gonna come anyway, and then I just knew that we were a little too early. Um, I just didn't know when, but yeah, we kind of had the timeline, but I didn't know how much of a great response it would have been. So when we get on these calls, sometimes you guys, I don't think anybody really knows who I am based on the amount of people that's on this call right now, like what I've done before, unless you watch something old.
Mhm.
So when you get a venture like that taken away from you at such a young age, I ain't fold. I just went on and did something else. But then I got to look back and be like, it wasn't just me. Because sometimes I just be thinking it's all about me. And it's like, no, the gentlemen I mentioned were all part of this even coming to fruition. Meaning, if it wasn't for the John Vasquez, if it wasn't for the Nick Storms, if it wasn't for it was a bunch of people within just smart minds in the marketing world in New York, that I drew inspiration from and didn't even realize it until I start to reflect back. So when I get messages from like, or I get on the phone with somebody and it's like an old high school friend and they're like, yo, what are you doing on the internet, bro? And here's the wildest one that happened today in the car. Something told me like, yo, just go roll with the wife, pick up the kids from school. Right. My son didn't have basketball practice today, so everybody's getting out early. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I ride. He gets in the car. He's like, you know what's crazy about today? He said, and I'm never really included in a lot of conversation either, just so you know. So he says, um, during lunchtime today, everybody at the table was watching your live. So we're doing these lunchtime lives now, and his classmates are on the live. He's in ninth grade. Here's where it gets crazier. I was at a basketball game the other day. So one of the mother's son plays on a varsity, but she comes because her nephew plays with my son, and she's cool. She's like, yeah, my son Cam talking about, yeah, I'm about to get on Marketing Gurus live at 12 o'clock. And she's like, boy, you better go to school. So she's telling me this. So now her son, a senior, is on hip to the game. And I'm like, no, you might want to tell him to put him headphones on and don't worry about that school situation. And she starts laughing. She don't know what he knows.
Mhm.
So the parents are starting to like find my page now. So it's opening up a whole nother conversation because I'm friendly with everybody, but nobody really knows what I do on the internet. It's like they think I'm moonlighting, but I'm really doing this full time. But it's changing the dynamic of the relationships. Now they're starting to talk a little bit more openly about like the shit, which is cool because I don't have to like impose myself on you. It's kind of like you come, oh, you want the smoke? All right, cool. Let me show you this shit right here. And then they're looking around. We got to look around and make sure that they're not listening. They look around because they're more in corporate. I'm like, what are you looking around for? I'm like, oblivious, man. If you could read between the lines, you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully the algorithm ain't that smart. So, all right, back to Telcoin and then Champ Takeover. Guys, I'm just gonna give you a couple points for the future of Telcoin, right? Regulatory clarity, US banking regulations, making it one of the first crypto compliant banks in the country. 0.007 was the last time I saw the price. You might even be able to catch it at a 6 now, if I had to guess. So when y'all talk about accumulation of assets and not having to spend so much money on it, and this is not for investment. I'm just telling you one of my buys the other day. All right. It was small, nothing crazy.
Mhm.
2 zeros.
Yeah, 2 zeros.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
All right. So now I don't know how to do math on a calculator. Telling y'all, man, this boy is special. This boy is special. All right. So at $1,000, we were able to accumulate. Listen, by the time they ripped them fees, it was like $138, 138,000. $1,000. That's how you accumulate in cryptocurrency. You find a project, you find it early, you have strong conviction in it, and then you could, even if you started with a $10 when it had more zeros. It's a matter of when you find the projects. Timing matters, but don't worry. You got to take your time. One of my guys, Lance, if he's on here, his ever since meeting, he's just a blessing too. But his mom has the saying, and all the siblings were kind of telling us the story about you're right where you're supposed to be, and how much it pissed them off hearing it as a child. Can you imagine every time something happens, it's like good or bad, you're right where you're supposed to be. And it always comes at the worst times too, right? Because that statement is not going to come at a great time. It's one of those slow down, like slow down. And she would tell them, you're right where you're supposed to be. So anytime I'm around them, it's always something comes up and it's like, you're right where you're supposed to be. So mass adoption of stable coins and digital payments, right? So Telcoin would issue regulated stable coins, which is the EUSD. Has anybody heard of the EUSD before? Exactly. I don't even got to see it because nobody's talking about it. And support the digital cash transactions, making it easier for people to send, spend, and save crypto in a legally compliant way. Champ, how many coins have regulatory clarity?
XRP. And now Telcoin. Hello.
Who was the first group to bring this out? And listen, we've been on it. So I'm just saying, like, as far as like this situation right now, have you heard it in the world around you? And I'm sure some guys champion the Twitter world, so they don't miss nothing.
Yeah, they be bombing
But
it
the
real
price action definitely didn't reflect the news.
at all.
So hopefully we could if this video gets out and this clip goes viral, Telcoin, give us a call. We want to start a subsidiary. I said it right?
You did it right. Subsidiary. I like that. You did that right. I like that.
It's
I
something
got it.
about like is it a syllable? Is that the amount of counts? Listen, English for me ain't it. I may have to take some basic English courses though. But I kind of like being transparent about the shit.
Yeah.
Should I clean it up like Rosie Perez or just keep it like just keep the accent?
Nah, man, you gotta keep it raw, man. That's what they like. That's what
All right.
that's authentic. That's it. That's
I'm
from the
just
gut.
checking. I'm just checking. This is decentralized now. Just want to make sure.
Absolutely.
Probably like that boy's dumb.
You ain't
It's always that
clocking
way. Huh?
in. I said you ain't clocking in. You said, yeah, you said it right, decentralized. You ain't clocking in.
Straight up. All right, I got it then. All right.
What's
Just being
up?
mindful, guys. That's part of me just taking a beat. Ah. All right. So DeFi banking for the masses. The masses are asses, but you got to get them involved. All right. So with this approval, Telcoin could become a global leader in DeFi powered banking, offering crypto savings accounts, lending, and remittance. More trust and fewer barriers. Expansion into global banking. The Nebraska Digital Asset Bank model could become a blueprint for U.S. states and even international markets, allowing Telcoin to expand into remittance payments and crypto-backed financial services worldwide. Why would you want to deal with a whole bunch of people? Why would you want to deal with a whole bunch of digital banks when you could have one and give it as much control and you could pry your nose into it probably if I had to guess. So I ain't saying I like all parts of this shit either. I'm just watching it. I'm invested in it. but that's not financial advice. I'm just being honest. We buying again, champ?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What's crazy is I found because we was talking about this, so I I don't know if you guys know, but I'm like a data hoarder almost, right? So Steve is always on my neck, like, yo, bro, like that professor shit ain't it. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go through, I start shaving some old like screenshots and stuff I had from the phone. I found my first Telcoin buy order. I was in Bagram, Afghanistan. I was in my bunk. I was in a twin size bunk, like literally a twin size. And I couldn't, for whatever reason, like every time I would get into the app to purchase Telcoin, it would immediately shut down, right? So one of my partners was working night shift. I sent him $100. It was $105 exactly. March 10th, 2018 at 12:19 p.m.
So
Found
what's the
found
price?
that joint. It was it was in real time, it was 0.00263.
You'd be up right now.
Crazy. And now it's just like, yo, just thinking about this is like, yo, we made history and didn't even realize we were making history in real time, like forging things years and years ago. And people are just now hearing about this project for the very first time. And it's crazy that I never thought I would even be teaching this like professionally. Like we're really doing this, changing people's lives, making people multimillionaires. And this started with a phone call. Wow. Wow.
Tell you, man, reflection.
Man, this is crazy. I might have to NFT that. I might have to NFT this. Actually, I am. I'm hard in that. That's gonna be one of my projects. I'm gonna NFT that. Nah, man, this is dope.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right. So
Listen,
listen.
I almost don't even want to go into crypto at all.
No,
Like,
no, we could be done with this one after Telcoin.
yeah,
They
I
got
like,
to you could just film what you were gonna do to them or for them. And guys, it was like
yeah,
it the way the mood is now, you don't want to go
techie and high. I'm not.
yeah, you don't want to go
Catch
mess
y'all later.
personal.
Y'all
Yeah.
get a replay or something. We gonna leave that like that.
So listen, man. So if Telcoin integrates Tel as part of a financial ecosystem, right? The demand for the token could do what? Skyrocket. All right. This is they're not going to let a lot of people penetrate the regulatory banks. And they have a different product than traditional banks. You understand? If I had to guess, all you have to do to get regulatory clarity is buy bonds. That's it. Junk bonds, US debt. So you got to own some commodity to bring down the price of that bullshit. And then you got to run some digital asset plays. And then the bank, right? We could just, the first arm that we open is going to be a real estate branch. And we start to tokenize projects.
Let's go.
And guess who the investors are? So listen, just think about it, man. Wait, you like that? So I'm doing a whole plan today.
Yeah,
And I didn't even think about this shit. This is how my mind works. And I don't care who takes this. Because who it's for is going to be who it's for. Straight up. It's still on fire.
still on fire, man.
All right, I'm gonna follow through with this shit. All right, so competition with traditional banks. All right, so Telcoin could challenge traditional banks in offering lower fees, faster transactions, and global access to financial services. Listen, this company, because it went abroad, was one of the best moves that they made because now, remember, the U.S. banking system linked to others. They just, if I had to guess about Singapore, that's a major financial hub. You understand? So once they start and the DeFi is going to be the biggest space that nobody knows about. That's why they could laugh at Elon Musk and be like, all these fake car investor dudes who, think they know the market, like, oh, you're not in it. There's no used parts. And it's like, they're like telling him he's going to fail. And he's like, you're so dumb. This is about data. It's not about the car and parts. I want the shit to work. He's not in the resale market, right? Because a car that works is a car that you do what with? You keep using.
Using that joint.
Not everything has to be an expense. Yo, them boomers are. Hey, listen, I have some boomers on here now. And I'm not saying it's all of you guys, but the ones that are running the show, they're just dated now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I think every generation should just be in charge of its own generation, like to an extent. Yeah, I think we still do need some adults in the room. Sometimes, just not all the time, every day, all day. And they sound frantic on the Democratic side right now. I listen, anybody watching Legacy News, I just turned it on the other day. I'm like scared. I'm like, what's happening? Why are they so mad? It almost
Uh,
doesn't feel scripted.
yeah, you know what's wild, but that's part of the script. That in itself is the fact that everyone's in an uproar and they always tie it to we have to fight. What are you fighting for? That you just got exposed? That all your transactions that you guys been doing is public? Come on, what are we talking about here? No wonder you want
No,
to fight.
mom is gonna lose Social Security. No,
What?
no,
Hey,
it's not gonna
wow,
happen.
man.
All right,
Crazy.
guys. So listen, this coin it's setting a blueprint. Like forget the Telcoin, just look at the model. All right. Um, New revenue streams and institutional investing. That's the part. That's where we got to make our money in this space. All right. So with its regulatory approval, Telcoin can attract institutional partners, investors, and users who previously avoided crypto due to legal uncertainty. So now they build a trust. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to go. What we gonna name this shit? Seriously, bring that back to the academy.
Yeah. Nah,
Not on here.
that's part of the homework. Yeah, bring that back.
All right, so here's the bigger picture, guys. So Telcoin is bridging the gap between traditional finance and crypto. All right, allowing people to bank, borrow, and transact with digital assets in a fully regulated environment. So that means what? We can trust it. All right. So this is a move that's going to set the standard for how crypto banks operate in the future. So what are we talking about right now? Does it sound like it has some legs to do some research? Is it worth it? Put a one in the chat if you would invest in it. Put a two if you wouldn't.
All round.
You're welcome. We got some homework to do. You do your research, and if you feel like you want to, anything in the story resonated from the sun, because I'm telling you, I went and I bought that day too. At first, I said, "Wait, where is my Telcoin?" Right? Because I know I had it, so I had to go digging, pull out these devices that has these cords, and I got to plug the shit in, blow into it a few times. That shit is archaic, man. I just want to know where my Telcoin is at.
Nintendo
I didn't
cartridge.
have to blow it up. I did have to just get on the apps and see where the shit was at. So I know where it's at. It's setting the standard for the first crypto bank, and it's coming out with the first kind of what they're calling the EUSD, which he might have just trademarked the shit. Who knows? So I'm just telling y'all that the shit is 100. I mean, 0.007 whatever, and I just showed you that $1,000 would get you over, depending on where you buy it from, would get you over 139,000 of these things right now. I know a lot of dumb coins that are on the top 100 that shouldn't be priced the way they're priced. I've looked at the product. It's not going to make it. This is one of my favorite projects right now. It's always been my favorite project, but now VeChain is just being retired. No, I'm gonna always carry VeChain
Uh-huh. I
because
was
there's so
about
many
to
people that just don't know, but I'm just tired of saying it. But Telcoin is the next conversation I have with people. So I'm just telling you guys, stay close to the project. If you don't want to invest in it, cool, but I would keep an eye on the project. You see it? Do you see it? I'm not even gonna talk price. I'm just gonna rub my hands like Birdman. and y'all figure out the rest. We got to talk in code now. Just
So,
what
so
you
you're
got?
saying we got a story to tell.
Ah, shit. Get them bonnets out, ladies. Putting y'all to bed in a minute. Let's go.
God, this is lit right here. I mean,
Fellas, get them do-rags out. It's night's over. What you got for us?
Man, listen. Yeah, I ain't even going into to the crypto spill. Like, y'all gonna get a recording. We gonna leave that like that. Like this call was fire. I
Hey,
like this.
listen, what's crazy is this guy was supposed to do Telcoin yesterday
Right, for the members only.
for the members only. So it
Hmm.
worked out fine that he ignored it. He didn't ignore it. He wanted to do it a particular way.
Yeah,
But then something came to me today, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna deliver this one.
gotta let it fly. Yep.
And if Sharika didn't come on, I probably wouldn't have delivered it. So you got to thank her for coming on today because I had the photos ready. I'm like checking my Telegram. I'm like, well, why is she not responding to me right now? So, what are your sentiments on that happening? That's all I wanted to know. And so you don't even have to reply.
Sentiments on.
So what I sent her, you guys, I sent her the news and the information, and then I sent her a LFG with a fire emoji, and I kind of waited for her to reply. She would have known exactly it was the regulatory approval. So when you heard about the regulatory approval, or did you hear about it? But if you did hear about
I
it,
Yeah, I did because I keep in touch with the Telegram, and I to be
right.
honest, it's probably just a bit of shock because I'm like, why is the market not reacting? Like, am I missing something, or is it a misdirection? But I mean that's just really the day and the times, and I was focusing on trying to snipe other assets, so it worked out better that I kind of fed to the space and fed to this today. And I don't know if it's a Warren Buffett quote, but like the market always finds out last. So, take advantage of these opportunities when they come like that.
Wait a minute, repeat that again.
Oh, come on.
It's just for good content.
Ah,
The market, what?
oh yeah, the market always
Always
finds
find-
out last. It does not operate in real time. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
And you could say manipulation, whatever you want to call it. When they want it to be known, they will let it be known. So let's just ride that wave and take advantage of it.
You were pivotal today. They thinking the hell out of you.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
better thank a Sharika because that was a man. Listen, Champ would have had to go one today too. But
Yeah.
this one was like, this one gives you homework. It gives
This.
you something to think about. It
Mhm.
shit you might have a potential partnership in what could be the biggest thing. Um, this is it, man. Champ, yo, listen, big shout out to Champ for not talking about that shit yesterday. One.
Word.
And
Word.
and and then another big shout out to Sharika for coming on because I had everything queued up and I was looking for you on here. And a bigger shout out for probably not answering either. We're right where we're supposed to be.
That's that manifestation. There's no
Right?
mistakes. No mistakes.
Everything happens for a reason, exactly when it's supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
Damn, I was doing the most when I was younger, man. Shit. If I knew this, probably wouldn't be great right now. And 47 for anybody that's interested in knowing. 47. Yeah. And listen, you have a new course that shows you how to read projects. I want you guys just to kind of look at that situation. I want you to look at the tokenomics of the project. Like this ain't just don't read a story. I want you to go to YouTube. I want you to find every video on the CEO, not the new ones, the old ones too, right? You want to see how, and I've gone through this with Champ too, right? When we talk about certain projects and I get to know the CEO or I hear something about him and I'm like, oh man, this is the worst thing ever.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
poor, weak leadership.
Yep.
But this guy right here is sharp. He's like Brad. Brad is like Something about that guy, man. He might moonlight as a hitman. Yo, he's cool as a fan. He's polite, but you know he's like really cutting you 1,000 cuts of death because he knows what he has.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you want to get into the tokenomics. We break that down in there, right? Once you do your first project, you'll be able to do all your projects like that. So now I pose the question back to you guys. Stay out my inbox asking me how much you should buy. It's like, what are you talking about? It's 10 million. They're like, come on, what are you? I'm like, it's just a dumb question. I'm answering dumb. Only you know how much you should buy based on how much information you have, not what Champ has, not what Steve has. I bought honestly because of what Sharika saw in that damn light.
Wow, man.
Straight up. Yeah, I'm telling you, intuition picks up on intuition. And I was like, something told me, like, yo, go find it, plus up on it, and then get back on a good train. And then a week prior to that, Champ was talking about it. So it was already on the radar. But that's how you put together buying opportunities. Information
Information.
will lead you to having a deeper understanding of the project. You start to see the project grow. You start to invest in things that make sense. Stay out my inbox with that. And it's not y'all though. It's for the people that just be watching these YouTubes that just don't want to rock with us for some reason.
They'll come along.
Let the information put us in formation.
And for stay up as co-hosts forever.
Straight up.
And that's what we're gonna bring up. You know, Money Mike was on yesterday. These
Shout
are what I call the OG students right here. They've been around for a minute, so they've seen it all. They've been like this is when we used to like birth people, like in hand-to-hand combat them there.
Yeah.
They got the boot camp type stuff when we were doing it like live every day in 5 hours, like craziness.
I'll if I can, I'll share something from my end. For me, hey, I'm happy I got graduated to the OG status because coming actually this month would be close to a year
Okay.
with you guys. So respect to all those that have been there from day one. And something that I did within the last 2 months is I actually went back and watched every dot connect before I even got here. I love times two speed, but I don't know, something in there, like change some circuitry and just to, it's like I kind of came in the middle. I don't know if it was like 40 or around there. And I'm like, I felt like when I came in, the train was already moving. I'm like, okay, let me go back to the beginning and really see what I'm a part of and really understand what this is. And I think that added to just the space that I'm in now and just being so much more comfortable, really, just understanding what you guys do and what you guys provide. So, and I'm cool now. You guys got so many things branching out. So especially, I'm going to say this to the academy, we all appreciate you guys, but this is not forever, right? The calls are not 3 hours. The calls are not 4 hours. Steve and Champ are going to give us their best. And if that's an hour, if that's 40 minutes, we got to take advantage of that and continue to develop ourselves. Because maybe at one point we're the ones that are going to be, supporting and being pillars in the academy. So it can be something that just doesn't stop because Steve and Champ are pulling back and expanding in their own ways.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a
I
fact.
like that.
She always coming with the words, man. I like that.
She doesn't even know that she's chosen for this too. Like Sonia's one of them,
For real, for real.
the main one. Um, Money Mike is up now. Yeah, it's your turn now. And listen, everybody has the opportunity. It's not a matter of how long you've been here. Just the sheer amount of work that they put in, is just it's inspirational. And you can lean on them in the thing. And yo, stop asking where to buy Telcoin from. Like I know you don't have a membership.
Listen, I wrote this in the chat, but I'm gonna put this live. This is on camera. Listen,
Start
if
kicking
you
people
are
out of here.
straight up, if you are part of the Skyton Academy membership and you pay your $50 per month, we just had a members only live call yesterday, and I talked you guys from point A to point Z of exactly what to do, where to go, what courses to find it, what pillar it's in. Stop playing with us. Like, stop it. Stop it.
We're trying to open banks, guys.
It's $50 a month. If you're not in it, get in it. Stop it.
And don't the person that answered them, you out of here too, man. Like, even worse. Like, leave that person at the party by themselves.
And we
It's
say
by
this with love, but for
association.
real, come on, y'all. For real,
Nah, this is with
seriously.
love. Nah, listen, don't do that. Come on, man. It's you. I still telling them where to find the stuff. Stop it. You can find it on Blowfin. Like, come on, man. You know the next question from that question? Uh, where do you find Blowfin? How you can't get crypto over to Blowfin? Like, no, don't give him Blowfin. He's not ready for Blowfin right now.
Not ready.
And that Coinbase wallet, it'll trip you up too a little bit. It still is a hot wallet, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen, the information is there for a reason. And we
Where's it
put
at
it there
again?
for a reason. Like we
Repeat.
trying to protect y'all. Like for real, for real. Like please, just take a beat. Steve started the call off with slow down, slow down. It's gonna be there.
Yeah, trust me, Telcoin ain't going nowhere. No one's talking about it, guys. You'll be all right. And that's a good thing about the market too. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those like sleepers. I watch a lot of projects do things like that. When they keep their head down and they're just working on the back end and they have like no marketing budget for the nonsense, because a lot of people that's paying for fake articles and because that pumps prices too. You know, you might hear a fake partnership. We listen, that's all the time in crypto. And they sound legit. And a legit crypto source will pick it up, even CoinMarketCap. And CoinMarketCap has been known to allegedly, allegedly.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I
Three
like what
months
you're
ago,
doing
I would
right
have been
there.
like,
I
whatever.
like what you're doing right there. Like,
Allegedly. Um, it's like a pay for play over there. And I'm not saying that it is, but I'm telling you, I got caught up with one of the exchanges on there. And that exchange was not cashing anybody out. And it was on there for like months.
yep.
I thought I was smart. So I got exactly what I needed. That was one of the moves. But you don't want to do that and not have like I had skin in the game already in crypto. But if you walk in to losing, it's hard to really come back. You have a distrust for a lot of things. Just be mad at yourself. Don't be mad at the industry. Guys, scams are at an all-time high right now. Right. So we're putting together a new updated 25 scam book. That's included in the membership. So we'll just update the scam book. Helium Mobile came out with a free phone plan today. Well, not today,
Mm,
just recently.
recently, yeah.
So they have three plans now. Free, which doesn't come with talking text, but it's data. I mean, it's free. And then they have another product that's unlimited talking text, but it's 10 gigabytes of data. Right. So it probably slow down the phone or whatever. But if you're at home, you can get on Wi-Fi. Right. So that's not bad. $15. And then they have the unlimited that we all came into, which is unlimited talk, text, and data, and it's $30. Um, it used to be 25, and it used to be $5 in Miami.
Miami,
And
absolutely.
it's gonna stay $5 if for as long as you have the phone. You're like grandfathered into all these prices. So that's been another project, Helium Mobile, that is, I feel, um, undervalued, underpriced, under talked about. That may be one for y'all to look at because we used to accumulate with hardware, but with the same amount of money. What's the price today, Jim?
For helium,
Yeah. And I know
so
it knocked off a zero.
yeah. So helium right now is 322, and then helium mobile
No, mobile. I'm
is
sorry.
is 6 thousandths of a penny.
Come on, bro. Stop. This
Yeah, there's
is...
a connection with 6 thousandths of a penny. Listen, that's a sign.
All right. So we're talking about three zeros.
3 zeros and a six. Yep. .0006659.
That's right there. All right. So at that price, $1,000 would get you 1.5, a little over 1.5 million. $100 would get you 151,515. That's a nice number. 151,515.
Mhm.
151,515. Oh, 151515. 0.15. Might be something there. But you're gonna pay fees, so you ain't gonna get
Yep.
that. Yo, these fees, man, I'm over it. Those are the winners. I wish Telcoin just comes and just does the right thing with the fees. See, this is how you know you can read a good project, right? You just look at ETH and you say, yo, whatever ETH is doing, if you're doing it, I'm out of here. Straight up. 'Cause that I don't care what anybody says. That project's that thing is dumb. I've seen $1,000 the other day. I tried to put the digital ID on the blockchain. It was like 1,000. Then the other day it was $15. I'm like, what are you gonna do with a project like that? Not the layer ones. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about ETH itself. It's
Yeah.
just it's just
No,
taking over. That guy sold all his shares in it. Um, yeah, nah, this was good today, guys. You got a little bit of backstory on shit that I've done. You're helping me get through this reflection phase so I can just calm the fuck down a little bit. Um, I shared that I'm talking to somebody on a weekly basis, right? Not a traditional therapist, but this is like a family friend, and she's nice with the stuff. I decided not to take my wife because she could do all this, but I'm like, nah, it ain't you. I got to get it from the outside. So I got to name this little guy back here. Hopefully, I bring that to the academy. I didn't even look at what was happening. Just come back to the academy. Um, and then we just segue right into Telcoin. And I shared a little bit more of who I am. Right, it kind of puts a lot of things in perspective. So I keep dropping it little by little. I can't do it all in one day. It's a lot. Um, have a nice podcast that I'm shooting with Storm. Stiffy, I don't know Storm, man. We got to bring Storm back on here.
Mhm. Yeah.
But you guys know Storm Leroy over there on he's pretty big on Instagram. So we formed a relationship. So tomorrow we're shooting something and it he shoots from the hip. A realist, that's what he likes to say. And Storm's selling his entire real estate portfolio in New York and different places, and he's looking to go abroad. So that sort of mindset, right? The guy that taught real estate is telling people like, nah, don't do real estate in America. Similar ways, different deliveries, but it always makes for a good show. Then got another call about a content house with another, like this guy's a monster. I'm not gonna name him though. Actually, yes, I'm gonna name him. So Maverick Approach. Put a one in the chat if you follow Maverick Approach. And if you don't, you better. All right. So possible live event on the West Coast. No way with the Gillian Wallow stuff. And I'm listen, their PR person is my PR person, and I'm not saying no way like that, no disrespect like that, but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
It's not there yet. My stuff I want it to come off authentic. I don't want to be a guy sitting there and it's like segued like that. That doesn't work for me. But no disrespect for those guys. I've been following that ride, and I'm cheering.
Mm-hmm.
But I see how some things are being presented, and I see the type of things being presented, and I'm like,
Not in alignment. Yeah.
nah. I'm kind of thinking Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, the ladies. Stop with the not liking Candace Owens situation. I'm gonna have a meeting with you guys on that. And I'm not saying this group. I don't think you guys would be the type if you're in here listening to this nutty shit. But that sister sharp, and she's only in her 30s. Trust me, don't let the media distort the message that sister be laying down. She's sharp. We graduated from the same high school. Published author. That's new for me. We have an AI children's a parent guide to safety AI book coming out. It's going to be an Amazon bestseller. Physical book. And it's looking to be like a series of a series of books for children. I'm gonna get in them schools. For now, it's gonna be lunchtime lives weekly. Now that I know the kids are watching, it's fucking on. I'm gonna really let them be. I'm gonna motivate them. Like, get through the work, man. None of it matters really. I got something for those kids, man. Yeah, so we got a book dropping. Excited about that one. Excited about that. Yo, this year, this snake, man, it is gearing up. This Uranus opposition situation is wild. Like, I'm going through the shit now. Like, so I gotta save a lot of my energy. You know, that the answer in the Coinbase situation, the amount of attention that I'm garnering now is just like, yo, that should be a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to find ways to pull off, stay grounded, and then but still stay the course. Like I've just been really kind of building up my tolerance right now. All right. Just getting ready to be on this road, getting ready to for anything that's gonna come with it, good, bad, or indifferent. But probably more good than bad. So I'm gonna close off like I opened. I'm gonna definitely represent for this fucking group. Trust me when I tell you that. Straight up. I need wardrobe. I got the wardrobe.
Too easy.
That's easy, but I'll take wardrobe though. I'm picking it out. But you can hold it. Nah, this shit's about to be fun, man. We're gonna open up the academy like internationally. We're gonna start doing trade shows this year. Hopefully we could all meet up there.
Absolutely.
Like the trade shows is definitely where you get the sauce. That's where they talk the shit. I've heard that Sam Bankman, I've heard his name come up at trade, like on stages, like what? We met with him. Like those are the best stories when you go to those trade shows.
Yeah.
So I think the next one in Miami, if it's not summertime, look it up. We'll just figure it out and then we'll kind of all meet up. Trade shows are it.
Maybe so far.
Yo, it's just about to take off for everybody. And it could be good or bad. I'm not saying any particular way. I'm just telling you that if your head is in the right place and you position correctly, things are about to change for you fast. And hopefully I can catch up with what I'm saying and read in between the lines. That's why I'm looking, I like to be ahead of the curve. So when something happens, I'm not doing the research. So I've been doing this work. I just need to go pick out shit that I want now. That's the stage I'm at in my life. Yeah, I'll take that entire beachfront right there. And I'm gonna share every moment of it with y'all. Because it's all gonna be tokenized. Not all of it. There's some pieces I'm keeping. I have a huge tokenization project that I'm dying to share, but I can't right now.
Mm-hmm.
But once we get through the stages and if it all gets final, then I'll share. If it falls apart, I'll share. And then every step of the way, I'm gonna share when it comes down to that. This Saturday, Burkina Faso is holding a Zoom call or a call.
Yep.
We put the link up in the academy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're calling for citizenship. And if you don't know, that's that young brother, Ibrahim, overtook it. Military coup, cleaned up the joint and kicked the French out, like taking back their country. If you didn't see my post today, I did a reel with the guy from Kenya, and Trump talking about, oh, we're gonna um not send the money. He's like just laughing. He's like, yo, whatever, man. He was like, listen, I don't pay taxes to America. We got to figure out how to do for ourselves in a nutshell. But he said it a lot funnier.
Mhm.
This is where the entire world is at right now. And then as they're doing that, I see Dubai is on a United States tour to sell property in Dubai. Don't buy it. Nah, they all right. Don't give it to them. Take that back to the motherland because that place was only built on the gold that was taken from. It wasn't built on oil. That thing was built on stolen gold. Now the stories are coming out. Go where you celebrate it, not tolerate it.
Change your thoughts, you change your life. If you change your thoughts, you change your life. And the thing that's so wild is whoever controls your mind controls your time. Whoever controls your mind controls your time. Whoever controls your mind controls your time. Whoever controls your time controls your mind. Control your whole life.
Take us out, champ.
Listen, this has been a powerful and insightful and reflective episode. Thank you so much, Sharika, for your presence, for your gems. We greatly appreciate you, Steve. Thank you for sharing. And everybody that's been in the chat going crazy. We love you guys. We appreciate all the energy. The replay will be up very soon. I don't even know what to call this, right? But this was just the raw realness, transparency episode, right? We love this. Steve, appreciate you sharing this. Love y'all. See y'all inside the academy. Replay will be up soon. Peace.